right now, I am really, really interested in what is going on in the case of Summerwells. I've been watching a little bit of the Sweetie Pilot channel, and I saw, of course, interviews from people where, well, let me say it like this. Everything in this particular case of Summerwells needs to be examined. Everything. And I think the problem here is that the relationships between all the people are so convoluted and so inappropriate at times. And there's so much going on behind the scenes that most of you will not be able to wrap your head around it. Because there is a type of society that lives among us on this planet that goes by different rules. Meaning the types of things that you don't do are normal to them. And other things, for example, it's for you, if something happens in your area and you have information, it would be natural for you to call law enforcement and inform law enforcement. And it would be something that you don't really have to think about, because you want to keep your area where you live, you want to keep the area safe, you want quality of life to remain what it is, and you want to protect it. And you know barriers, you know that you don't really cross certain lines. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the lines are like iron fences or high and thick walls. It just means that there are social settings that are our norm, but not necessarily in other parts of society. And I think that we have gotten a glimpse into that when it comes to the case of Summerwells. And I had spent some time looking at Candace Wells' Facebook page. And first of all, it is really weird that she has not felt the need to remove anything. Hey guys, I'm seeing you. Hey Ray voted, Monique, Robin. What's up, Robin? How did you sleep last night? Everything okay? Sabrina Seawood, welcome back. Guys, if there's anything about Jack and Lilly, bring it my way. And I will talk about it immediately. Otherwise, like the searches and stuff like that, nah, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk only about things that actually fair dinkum, what's happening. Sandra. Oh, Sandra, let me check your messages later, okay? I hope you sent me something. Well, guys, let me say it like this. At any time, if you watch anything that is of interest to you, don't even think about it. Just send it to me. If you watch something and you say, there's something interesting here, I don't really know what it is, just send it my way. Don't think about it. Don't wonder if, because I get overloaded with things that I don't have time to all look into. And I said it before, I looked at Fred Hill, I looked at Jody, I looked at a lot of people passed away, by the way. A lot of people from the case passed away, not just Hunter's mother, but the friend of Hunter's mother's, and that guy who lived on the property who was watching these perverted videos, he passed away. Like 10 different people connected to the Summerwells case have passed away since. And of course, some of them had lived types of lifestyles that may shorten your lifespan. But this is just me getting back into a case that I stopped looking at about 4 years ago. Because when things go cold, it's kind of standstill. Nothing new is coming out. I don't get any news statements. And I sort of call it a day and say, no, what am I going to do now? Am I going to just... Hey, Mimi. Helen, thank you. That's why I'm doing this. You see, Seawood? When... Oh my God, the coffee, the water's hot now. No, the water's hot right now. The water is hot, and I'm doing instant coffee, guys. I'm not as sophisticated as some of you. Of course I want fresh brewed coffee. Of course I like the Sumatra and Ethiopian coffee, and but you know what? When it comes down to it, I take my bike to 7-Eleven and I get back and I'm ready. I'm picky to a degree. I like it when I have I'm always thinking about something. So I'm not the type of person that will drive an extra mile just to get the best coffee. You know what I'm saying? I can't be bothered with most of the things that, especially with you guys, 90% of my viewers are female. So I want to go and get the best coffee, the best beef, the best everything. And then I just get stuck here and go wherever it's quick. But I don't do fast food. I don't do, Wow. You know what? I gotten a lot of messages about Summerverse. And you know what, people? Listen to me, please, one time. Listen to me. Whatever is interesting to you is likely interesting to me. If you have 10 videos, don't send them all. Send to me the 2 that you absolutely, the 2 where you think there's something there. My favorite number seems to be 2 now. So forget about biblical numbers or is this a good number, this is an evil number, all of that. My favorite number is 2. 2 questions in a polygraph, 2 statements indicating the same thing. It's a confirmation number. So if you have anything that is of interest to you, do not even hesitate. Just send it to me. And don't think, because when you think too much, you will wonder, is this right? Is this not? Is he going to like it? Well, it's not important if I like it or not. It's not about that. It's all about if there's information or not. And just FYI, when it comes to the so-called behavioral panel, I ignore it completely. One thing that I pay attention to is facial language. In my opinion, all of the so-called body language analysts are scammers. Scammers. Body language analyst to me means somebody who knows absolutely nothing. Or he may know something about other things, but there is no rule. There is no rule. You can use your intuition to get to something interesting and then go there. But facial expressions, to me, I paid attention to them, guys. Especially changes in facial expressions. And I looked at the interview with Candace and Dr. Phil. And I pay very close attention to eye movements, possible duping delight. It's very important to me. And right now, I'm really interested in why Hunter, by the way, in this picture, he's 13 or 14, but he was 15 during the interview with Dr. Phil. With Chris McDonough. He was 15 years old. And remember, he asked him, does she like you? And he was like, no, not that way. She has a husband. She has a husband. What does that have to do with anything? Are you trying to say you don't have a relationship with her because she has a husband? I mean, this would be inappropriate to begin with. And I'm not saying they did or didn't, but I'm saying there is some avoidance happening that I can look deeper into. And now he's 19 or 20. So now this is something I wanted to do 4 years ago. And this is something I talked with Peter Hyatt about. And, of course, there's a reason why he didn't explore certain areas, because Hunter was 15 years old at the time. And Chris McDonough said, well, we're not going to have him on camera, but you can see his face very, very clearly at the time in some of these shots, very, very clearly. So now I'll be able to talk about him and what I hear in his language and what he is avoiding. And I have talked about him. Eye changes, absolutely. Duper's delight, eye changes, anything that's, any pattern changes, people, anything. If you know somebody who's lying to you and you recognize a change in pattern and change in how he talks to you, a change in facial expressions, this is something to pay attention to. And here, for example, this is what got my attention yesterday. Hunter was he was, I think, either 14 or 13 at the time. I think 14, because Summer disappeared in, what was it, July of 21? Was that? I think so. He was, I think, 14. He could have been 13. But you see his Facebook update in a relationship. Okay. And who is the first person to reply? Can you see this? Shit, man. I don't know if you can see this well. Candace replies, in a relationship, she says, with who? Your hand. How old is Candace, by the way? Do you guys know for sure? How old is Summer versus Mother? Candace Bly. Give me a second. I need to do some. All right, give me a second, guys. I think something is not showing well. I don't want you to look at my screen and then see nothing. This ain't cool, man. Give me a second. Because I ran out of Windex. So here is a lot that we have to look at because I want to know why Hunter, then 15 years, hiding certain things. Why were there avoidances? He flows, he wants to help, but is he afraid to be a snitch? He suspects something, guys, for 100%, because the topic, the question was Summer asleep in the car when they dropped you off? And he said, yeah, I guess she was. And I thought she wasn't. But you spent the day with her. And when it's time to say goodbye, you would know if the person was awake or not. So the area, the topic of her sleeping in the back seat, there are huge red flags there. And I believe his mind is going there. And I believe Summer Wells likely passed away in the back of the car after hitting her head on rocks. And so this is something really weird, of course. Hunter was 13 or 14. He's saying he's in a relationship. And Candace, the mother of Summer, says, with who? Your hand. And sure enough, somebody, on their friends list talked about that and reacted and said, what kind of grown woman who is a freaking mother makes comments like this on a teen boy's social media page? Don is too good for you. Well, I don't know about Don being good for anything. Oh, vinegar and hot water? Oh, wow. I will do that. See, I have to first remove the tea bags from my hot water maker. But vinegar is good for everything, man. I mean, vinegar, I like to clean with vinegar too. I have this vinegar and salt to make sure that there are no, Hey guys, I don't really have that much today to talk about. Yeah, this is pretty inappropriate, right? How old is Candace? Sorry, I just got back on. How old is Summer Wells' mother? How old is she? He was either 13 or 14. Hunter Mullaney. Now we can talk about him because he's now 19 or 20 years old. Back then he was 15. I got stuck. I talked a little bit with Peter Hyatt at the time about him. And of course, he also made the decision that I'm not going, he's a minor and we cannot put him on the spot to the degree where we give negative attention or draw negative attention towards him. Which is really weird because back then he was my go-to guy, Peter, about anything related to how I talked about his history with the CPS before working for them. And now it's just me. And I'm taking the ball and I'm running with it and passing it on. But there are things that me and Peter talked about related to Hunter and some of his statements. And of course, he was 15 at the time. And now I'm going to little by little explore the possibilities. And of course, you wouldn't give a 15-year-old son of a friend alcohol either, right? I mean, it was like a spiked drink or something. It wasn't any, who? Hunter is a father already? Hunter has a child already? Yeah, he's 19 or 20, right? I think out there in the area where he lives, if he's still there, they have children pretty young. But just imagine 13 or 14 years old at the time in a relationship, or think about your own boy. Think about your son being 13 or 14 and, okay, now forget your so-called old values. Okay, so there it's normal that when you are 13 or 14 that you're already in a relationship, maybe. But suddenly, a neighbor woman who's in her 30s or 40s says, with who? Your hand. And I mean, these people have zero self-awareness. Remember that video where she talked with Dr. Phil, how scared she looked? Remember her facial expressions? I had to laugh because she is so scared of him. But the society in which she operates, there is no why didn't she could have deleted this comment after this woman points it out. But she didn't even do that. She didn't even feel like that. And I mean, I've been looking through Candace's Facebook pictures, and updates and everything that she's writing. And there are some very nice pictures of summer. But I want to point it out again, how the kids actually lived. So this is kind of like if you had a picture of a homeless child, right? She posted this on her Facebook. And this is the way that they lived. And mind you, there may be some more pictures that she wouldn't post because they're not. But this is some of us. Lost in this fucking world. Stuck with a bunch of dipshits in an area where the use of substances and the abuse of children are common, if not the norm, allegedly, possibly. Everybody wanted to throw the book at these parents. And now we may be able to get some answers. And the neighbor Andy, he knows. He knows what happened, guys. I listened a little to Sweetie Pie Lowe's channel. I heard a little bit from others. I am not yet going to comment until I see more statements from people that I believe have knowledge. A lot of people know a lot of things, but a lot of these people, you know, they have been to prison and then they got out because they give some information, and then you don't always, it takes some time to go through all of this to be able to see, when can I trust a person who isn't trustworthy, a person who's lying constantly, who's always in trouble with the law? At what particular point am I going to be able to say, you know what? This dude has lied to me for 5 pages, but all of a sudden, here's a reliable statement. And I don't know if I still have people here who watch Sweetie Pie Lowe's channel. I was on her channel before, and she's a friend of mine. And I watched only a little bit about, and by the way, I make up my own mind about everything. We don't always agree, but we never argue. There's no need for that. No need. Agree or not, never a need. And I love that. I absolutely love that. When I have friends who think one thing and I say, no, I don't think so. And the only question is why. And then I lay it out. And then I say, okay, please fill me in. Maybe you know something that I don't know. And it's been a while since I had a conversation like that, guys. It's been quite a while. Because usually a lot of people are argumentative and want to tell me what their theory is. And then I say, nope, it's not it. I don't have time to get into, but I know, well, it's rare that you come across people who don't have the type of stupid ego, which I call it. And I've learned quite a bit. Again, I don't have to agree with everything that somebody else concludes. But when you tell me how you came to your conclusion, then I can travel down your path. And I can also stop at any time and say, okay, two roads diverge in a yellow world, in a whatever, Robert Frost, right? Two roads diverge in a. I fucking forgot, man. I had to learn this poem. Two roads diverge in a. Crap, man. I don't remember. But, anyways, so that you come to these pivotal moments, sometimes pivotal moments, or turning points, and all of a sudden one person goes in this direction and the other person goes into that direction. You don't know why. You're like, wait, dude, I cannot see you anymore. Where did you disappear to? And maybe your path is wrong, maybe mine is wrong. I mean, I'd like to think mine is not, but I want to know what makes you think in a certain way about Fred Hill. Okay? And I always have to be very careful. Even if the person has a criminal record and has lived a life that immediately, you know, well, why do you think he's telling the truth right now? But Andy, that neighbor, former neighbor, he is the key. He is the key. And if he didn't physically remove Summer's body, he is the middleman. He is the guy that Candace would call when something is really, really wrong. And I've been told Fred Hill didn't have pigs, but his family does. Or he had one pig or something like that. I don't know yet. I'm going to look more into this. And again, whenever you guys send me something, send me exactly what it is that gets your attention. And follow your intuition. And if you don't know how to do that, disconnect from all of the things that you have been absorbing and lean back with no pressure and tell me what you really think. Remove any thoughts of like or dislike and simply evaluate the information. So I of course, the stepsister of Don Wells made allegations that for years, and I believe her, by the way, she did a phone call with Chris McDonough, and I do believe that, and she was like many years younger, 7 years younger than Don. So she was a child and he was a teenager. And on every night he came in her bed. Every single night. That's what she stated. I believe her. I listened to it back then. I listened to the interview. And I don't think she filed any criminal charges. She was thinking about it, but I think she just doesn't want anything to do with anything anymore. She wants to move on. I don't know. But Don Wells, not a good guy. Now, Curtin. Does it mean he did something this summer? It can. It doesn't have to, but it can. And trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Do I have to say this? I don't know the rules, people. I flow as I flow. And my channel is not made for children. And some of the videos, YouTube immediately informs me this is for 18 plus, which is a good thing. Yeah, Jordan's interview was 18 plus immediately. And that's a good thing. But I don't even want to go into this, honestly. The allegations. I don't know. But you probably heard about them. No, he didn't, Krista. Krista, he didn't have pigs. According to Lauren, Some of his family do, but Robert Frost, yeah, exactly. Well, there was the allegation that he took a shower with his daughter. Let's say it like that. And I don't mean taking a shower when you just came out of the swimming pool and have your shorts on. I mean, I don't know if it's true or not. I saw a panel where they talk about who I don't even, you see, these are areas that I don't really like to explore unless, first of all, I don't like my mind to go there. So I don't let it go there until I have more than a panel talking about what a neighbor said, Jody, right? Allegedly. And then I also have to talk about that we have a multitude of criminal activity in some of these cases. But they are not necessarily directly connected to what caused the disappearance. But it is a very, very, very yeah, me too. Just made April, me too. And he's now confronted with a lot about his personal life, you know, the people that he grew up with, the people, you know, his family. But his father, you see, here's the thing. Okay, talking about Jordan again. Jordan didn't ask for this. Jordan didn't volunteer to go on YouTube channels to talk. Jordan didn't do anything to put himself into the situation. He didn't. He just realized that people were talking about his father. And that's the one thing that I made sure to tell him about again and again. You don't have responsibility here. You are not responsible for the situation that your father put himself into. Just to, you know, go back to this topic. And there's more people. There's going to be more, a lot more I will talk about. And wait, Hunter confuses the timeline. Wait. What am I getting here? Okay, let me watch this because Sweetie Pie just sent me, and I'm so happy that she's back. I'm so happy she's back on YouTube, doing what she's doing, helping me get back into this. And I take my time, guys. I really, really take my time. I'm either in something or I'm not in it. I'm either in it all the way or not at all. So now she sent me something, a video that I'm going to watch real quick and see if it has any.
The only person that I don't want, bro, is my little sister and my older sister and boyfriend. They have nothing at all to do with them. Oh, I know.
Holy shit, wait. Is this another Folio? Hunter confuses the timeline and adds tone of discrepancies to the summer. Okay, this is Hunter, and I guess he's now 19 or 20. Yeah, this is him now. You see, Krista, and that's why I need to always be very, very careful. That's why I take my time, man. Even when it's trust people who always give me good information, if they get, yeah, let me see. Yeah, I am connected with him, Jonah. I am connected. And I realize there's a lot, you see, there's a lot more to come, people. There's a lot more to come. And remember, I need to make this very, very clear. When you have a conversation with somebody who's new to a situation, so with Jordan, for example, and the instinct says, protect your dad, protect your friend. It is very similar to when Chris McDonough talked to Hunter, and within the conversation, he expressed doubts in what he was going to present. Okay, sometimes when you have an analytical conversation, the person will stop and say, you know what, I don't know what Daniel knows. You know what, I don't know if, well, he was lying, I believe, when he talked about whether or not Summer was asleep or awake. And now, Hunter, you are 19. And you know what that means? It means I can speak about you openly. I can speak openly about your analysis without the worry that a 15-year-old, that a minor is going to get repercussions. Now I can openly express what I think and point out what you said and indicate when you're full of shit and wonder why you feel the need to avoid certain subject matters. And that's my point.
So people need to keep, because one thing I do not play with that you taught me is family. I don't play with that. That's what, to be honest, what I think is, like they said, there was some dude walking around the property. I think that she went off wandering and discussing that stuff.
Shut up. I don't know who this is. Carrie Moody? I have no idea. Oh my God.
He wanted to speak on Miss Summer Wells. So.
Oh my God. So this is his father, right? This is the guy who, oh my God. Okay. How can I do this? Wait. I have to make sure that.
Yeah, also about that, it's just a timeline stamp. I can go on the messages with my lawyer and show you I have nothing to.
Oh my God.
Well, you told me you wanted to speak on Miss Summer Wells, so speak. Yeah, also about that, it's just a timeline stamp. I can go on the.
So this is Hunter's father. Remember, his mother was the big one that just passed away a couple of years ago, with the belly hanging out. And I guess that's her ex-husband, Hunter's father. And he now, all of a sudden, I guess he wants to have a YouTube presence, or maybe he is in it to get some kind of notoriety. He wants some money. I don't know. He's mad at Chris McDonough. I haven't followed the aftermath of this type of soap opera. I'm not interested in it, guys. You know what I mean? Unless I can get some indication that something is being hidden. So I'm going to watch this just for a little bit. And as soon as any of you have something that's more interesting, I want it. Okay, don't hesitate. This is my favorite thing. Lauren just sent me this one. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm about to see. But I'm very, very interested in getting more of a feel for the situation.
Messages with my lawyer and show you I have nothing to do with her. The reason why I got proof is because people were saying that I got my name is on papers with the Summer Wells case. My lawyer, all I got to do, and she can go to the juvenile courthouse and get in.
My lawyer, you don't have a lawyer, you fool. Oh, and you're over 18 now, dude, so I can say what I want to say. And I can analyze when you said you don't like Summer in a weird way. And other things that I spoke to Peter Hyatt about. Oh, I'm so happy, dude. And now you're putting yourself out there with your ADHD language, just hyper as hell. I'm not going to keep this on long. I just want to see if there's...
Get papers and see that I was...
Have a beer, dude.
The press, that's it.
Oh, no, he's smoking
never
some.
Really on the suspect list. No, I was never on the suspect list. It was just the press putting in words that nobody knows about.
So before this even gets started, I'm just going to say there are a whole lot of contradictions to what.
No, I don't like it already. When I hear this voice, it's just too long-winded. I don't like it.
This is how things get twisted, right?
Oh, God, I cannot watch these fucking people. If you have a timestamp or anything specific, I'll go there. I cannot watch people like that. I can't. I'm not gonna do it either, okay? I'm not gonna freaking do it. So I guess this, I'm not sure, honestly, this is this one of her brothers? But, you know, they live some in the basement of this, what looks like a trailer, basically, or maybe it's a house. But now I'm getting into the pictures of where Summerwells actually lived. And again, you can look at this right here. This is how Summer lived. You know what I mean? You see the pictures of her next to a Christmas tree. The good pictures are usually taken in church or somewhere else, not at home. Okay? At home, look, but Candace thought this was a nice picture. She saw nothing wrong with it. Change to live? I thought I'm live. I am live. For me, 96 of you tune in into this live stream. If you're interested in following the comment in chat, click on the box. Oh, okay. Wow. No, Robin, send it to me. Robin Edwards. Welcome, by the way. I was trying not to crack up at your comments last time, reading them while I'm doing this live. Send me the pictures. I want to see it. I want to see how Summer lived, guys. I want to get an idea. I want to see how this beautiful child actually had to live. And again, children adapt very easily. Because if you are born into a shithole and that's all you know at the time, you make the best out of it. It's different if you're a 5-year-old and you lived in a nice place and all of a sudden you come down here. Like my daughter, when she was 5, and I would have said, look, you're going to sleep here. She would have said, oh, no. She would have stood there for 20 minutes and just look at it and say, I'm not going to sleep here. But it's different if you are born into it and you don't know anything else. Of course, children adapt and they make the best out of everything. But the bottom line is that Candace thinks this is a good picture. Candace sees nothing wrong with this, with posting it. And look, there's a hole in here. What happened? Did then Don Wells get drunk and mad and just kick the door in? Or what happened here, man? Everything in the picture screams negligence, neglect, violence, outbursts, instability, fear. And then there's always the danger of SA. And children who grow up in these environments, they don't know what are the grown men going to do next. They learn how to hide. Maybe he's drunk. Maybe he just starts kicking things. Maybe he wants to take a shower with me, allegedly. Listen, I'm only replying to what has been sent to me recently, the allegations from a neighbor, okay? And this is a subject that I don't like to get into unless there is really hardcore evidence. And I don't want to get anybody to the point where they may say, well, he needs to pay for something. He's a very bad human being who already had violated his stepsister every single night for years, allegedly. And I agree. However, I want to know what happened that day that caused the disappearance. So we have to make sure, in my case, I have no control over law enforcement. Mary Hartman did try to... Gotcha. You see, here's the deal, people. Here's the dealio. I don't know what movie this is from. Dealio. Here's the deal, people. What happens, what law enforcement does, I'm not connected to the case. It's out of my control. Then what the jury decides, out of my control. But no matter what I am interested in are the facts related to this case. So if John Wells violated her, I still want to know why she disappeared. And when somebody is convicted and I feel deep inside, you know what? Good. This person needs to be in prison. It doesn't necessarily mean that he needs to be in prison for what he went to prison for. You understand what I mean? Not necessarily. Like O.J. Simpson, he shouldn't have gone to prison for 9 years for what he went to prison for eventually. He should have been to prison a lot longer than that for unaliving his wife and Ron Goldman. So there is a difference between, between de facto events, which is what I'm into. What lawyers do, what judges do, what the jury decides, that's up to them. I have nothing to do with it. But Hunter turned out exactly how I thought he would, man. Anyways. When I see a title that starts with shocking truth, I'm already like, give me a second. All right, so I think this will be a shorter live because I just got some real important thing that I have to get into right now, guys. I will be back, people. Sorry about this. I got some real important information.